Hi everybody, I just fixed an ignition problem with my Honda Pilot and I thought I'd make a quick video, partly so that I remember what I did in case I ever have to do it again, and just in case anyone else is trying to fix this problem. So basically, in my 2004 Honda Pilot, one day everything was working fine, and then one time I tried to put the key in and it wouldn't go in very well. So I took it out, put it in again, it worked, started up, drove it somewhere, and then when I was ready to come home I tried to put the key in and it went in, but it would not turn. The key would not turn. I wiggled it, wiggled the steering wheel, took it in and out. Key would not turn at all. It would go in but would not turn. So I tried it a bunch of times, and finally my family was with me. I asked them all to say a prayer, and they did, and then I tried it one more time and it did start up and I was able to drive home. But after that, I could not get the key to turn again. So I looked on YouTube, I found a video of a locksmith explaining how if you can get the ignition, like tumbler I guess, I'm not sure, but basically the part that the key goes in, if you can get that out, you can basically see that one of the wafers, I guess they're called, that the key basically releases to allow that cylinder to turn, one of them is probably messed up, either got full of dirt or whatever, and it is not releasing. So he showed how to basically take it apart, find that one, take it out, and then it should work great. Alright, so another thing this locksmith was saying was you could basically remove all of those wafers, and then anyone would be able to turn your ignition with a key or even a screwdriver, but it's not really going to matter because, first of all, people aren't going to know they're able to do that. Excuse me. And second of all, the car will not start without the programmed key, without that chip for the transponder to recognize. So you really don't need any of those wafers. So I didn't take all mine out, I took a couple of them out, but I wanted to make this video to show how I did it. Sorry it's a little dark out, I should have done this earlier, but I do need to put everything back together because we need to use this vehicle tomorrow. So I thought I'd again do a video just to show you if you're having trouble with this. This process took me about 3 or 4 hours, but hopefully with what I'm going to show you it'll go a lot faster. It's not terribly hard. I did get a little nervous with the key tumbler. I was afraid I was going to lose a piece or not get it put back together right. But if you're careful and watch how it's taken apart, it should work just fine. Alright, so let me show you what I did. Okay, so we're inside the Pilot, and the first thing you're going to need to do is uncover your steering column. So you can see I already have mine uncovered, top and bottom all uncovered. Okay, so the way you get that uncovered, I struggled with that. The easy part is there's 3 screws underneath. So you unscrew those, they're Phillips screws, and the bottom pulls off pretty easily. The top is a little bit harder, mainly because of this shift lever. It goes through the top cover of the steering column, and if your key won't go in, that shift lever is really close to the dash, and you can't get that cover off. So I finally found a video online where the guy said you just need to push this little lever. You can see a little yellow lever right there. If you can lift it up enough to reach that, you just push that down and that will release your shift lever. So you can pull it way down to like first gear, and then that cover will slide right off. So that took me a while to figure out, but it's not hard once you know how to do it. Alright, then, well, the next thing I did, I started unplugging these wires. So this is, there we go. This is up on top. Let's see, there's a plug right over, can I point to it? there's a plug right here you need to undo, right there where the light is. It goes to probably the wiper switch. You have to unplug that wire. And then over here there's two green plugs right here on the back of the ignition. Those two green ones need to be unplugged. And then these wires are actually clipped back there. And right where my light's pointed, you can stick a screwdriver in that black plastic clip and pry it out. And you'll be able to lift all those wires up. And then there's one more clip right over here, right there, that goes to like your blinker switch. You can take that out, pull all those wires over to the left side out of your way. Okay, the next thing I did was I was trying to do this without having to take the whole ignition assembly off. In order to do that, there are a couple bolts up on top that have no heads on them. So you either have to grind a slot to fit a screwdriver, or some people just pound on them with a screwdriver to get them out. I didn't want to mess with that. So I was able to get the 4 gold screws from this black ignition cover thing. I think it's also the transponder unit, the one that the green plugs were removed from. There's 4 gold screws. There's one here, there's one underneath and towards the back right there. Let's see, there's one right there behind in the back. And then the hardest one, I don't know if I can get it with the light, but it's way back over here somewhere. You'll be able to see it. The black piece kind of sticks way over there, and there's a screw. And it's really hard to get a screwdriver in there. If you can get those 4 Phillips screws out, then you don't have to take those headless bolts out, which is really nice. Once you have all those out, this black piece kind of surrounding the key area and that black piece back there, that all slides right off. Once that slides off, you can just pull the ignition tumbler out. You may want to stick your key in there to help you pull it out. And it just comes right out. Alright, so I'm doing another Honda Pilot, and I'm going to insert this video in since I didn't have a picture of this. So one thing, once you get those 4 gold screws out and the black transponder off, there's one other like electrical ring thing that you slide off and it just hangs there. Then you stick the key in. You might have to wiggle it a little bit, but then this whole thing should slide out with it. And then if you look right down in there, there's a pin. You just tap that out with a nail, and then some pieces come off on this end right here, and then this whole circular thing comes out, and I'll show you that in a minute. Just make sure you remember which way they go, like 180 degrees. They can go in the wrong way and then it doesn't work. Once you take the pin out of that hole right there, let's see, that hole right there, then this piece slides off. You got to be real careful. Make sure you don't, this thing will pop off and you won't know where it came from, so be real careful. Make sure you remember which way this goes on. So I'm going to set that down there like that. Okay, then go ahead and take your key. Let me grab my key. You stick your key in, and this whole thing should come out. You might have to push this thing down or something. Not sure. There. Okay. Now, again, be real careful. Okay. So remember which way this thing goes in. So what I'm noticing is, whoops, sorry. There's a little notch right here, and on the other side, there's a bigger notch. So I'm going to remember the bigger notch is in the back. This thing is facing, this thing's facing my left, bigger notch in the back, that goes in like that. Okay, so I'm going to set that down. Now, here's the problem. See that one chip wafer sticking up? That's the problem. That's so it's not, that's the reason the car can't start. So, uh-oh, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that one out. Be careful if you pull the key out right now, those things might fall out. Again, this is where the one locksmith told me you can just take them all out. It won't matter because the car won't start without the chip and the key anyways. So I'm going to pull some of these out. So just take your pliers and grab it and pull it out. And there's a little spring in there with it also. Make sure you get the spring. Okay, the spring went flying. There is the bad wafer. We'll leave that there. I see another one sticking up, so I'm going to take that one out. Just take all the ones that seem like they might be having a problem, or you can take all of them out. Tried to put it back together. I couldn't get the key to rotate smoothly when the ignition was out of the car. I tried it, like I took that pin in and out, in and out, in and out. Finally I tried putting it back in the car and I had it upside down, so I took it out, took the pin out, flipped it, put it back in, put it back in the car, and then it worked. In the car it worked. I don't know, I'm not sure exactly why it wasn't working when I was just holding it, but in the car it worked. So it was working great. So I put all the screws back in, plugged the wires, the green wires, the white wires up on top back in, and it started right up, no problem. So again, it took me 3 or 4 hours, but I think with these tips I'm telling you, it probably will take you a lot less. I know some people say locksmiths charge $300 or $400 to do this job, and the dealer charges like $650 or more. Some guys replace the whole ignition. I don't even know what it's called, the whole ignition thing, which you do have to remove those round bolts for it, plus it costs over $100. If you use this method, it is completely free, and it seems to work great. So hope this video is helpful. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. Please comment if this was helpful for you. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll try to watch the comments and answer if I can. And hopefully this saves you some money. Alright, that's it. Bye.